Hi students, in the last period we studied about the sun, the moon and the earth. Now in this period we will study about eclipse, solar eclipse. What is solar eclipse? How many type of eclipse are there and which are the reasons why the eclipse takes place and what are the effect of the eclipse we will see in this video. So now let us see solar eclipse. Now, if the moon in between the sun and the earth, the shadow of the moon falls on the earth. Now, in the here you can see one diagram is given: the sun, the earth, and the moon. Now, if the moon is in between the sun and the earth, so the shadow of the moon falls on the earth. That means that is why we can see everywhere the places are not in light, or we can say not in emulated part. So that means some places are in dark, some places are in light. We can say in geographical term, that is day and night. That may be the one reason. Now let us see, at such a time these three celestial objects are on the same plane and fall in one straight line. That means that all these three, that is the earth, okay, sun and the moon, that are all in a straight line. That is the reason we can't see, some parts are in dark and some parts are in light. Hence the place on the earth where the moon's shadow falls experiences solar eclipse, and this shadow is of two types. The central portion of the shadow is darker and the fairy hairy is light. In that area of dark shadow on the earth, the sun becomes completely invisible. This condition is known as total solar eclipse. When the sun is invisible for us, then that places are called as total solar eclipse. Then, however, during the same period, at the place where the shadow is lighter, means little bit light we get, the sun disk appears partially covered, means only some part of the sun we can see it. So that is why we can see there is a little bit light. This condition is described as a partial solar eclipse. Partial means only some part we can see, that is why it is called as partial solar eclipse. And in total we can't see any part of the sun, totally it is invisible for us. That is why it is called as a total solar eclipse. Now we will see the total solar eclipse is seen in a very limited region on the earth. Now where we can see total solar eclipse, in only some particular parts and in limited parts only we can see, where the sun is totally invisible. Now we will see through the diagram. Here you can see, now one diagram is shown in the textbook, total and partial solar eclipse. Now here you can see, here sun is there and in between moon and the earth. Now what will happen? No. Now you can see here two parts are given. This is total solar eclipse where we can't see sun. Totally it is invisible. You can see no part of the sun we can see. And here you can see some part of the sun it is visible. Means partial part of the sun we can see. So that is why this is called a partial solar eclipse. Here the sun is totally invisible. That is why it is called as total solar eclipse. When sun, moon and the earth come in a straight line. So this type of the event we can see it. Now here you can see only the half part of the moon is under shadow and another part is in light. So same effect it falls on the earth also. That is why now here you can see annular and partial solar eclipse. Annular means yearly. Now here you can see sun, moon and the earth are in a straight line, isn't it? Here also partial solar eclipse we can see only the some part of the sun it is visible for us. And here you can see annular solar eclipse where sun is totally in the dark. Now we will study in details. Sometimes the moon is in opposite position Now in the last period we have studied what is oblique position. This means it is at its farthest from the earth. Oblique means what? It is very far from the earth. So that is why this portion is called as oblique. As a result, the deep shadow of the moon is cast in a space and does not reach the earth. So that is why we can't see more light on the earth, because sun is very far from the earth. From a very small region of the earth, only a emulated edge of the sun disk is seen in the form of a ring. Okay, it is very far from the earth in oblique position, so we are not able to see the sun. So that is the reason only the little edge of the sun we can see, it is in a light. Okay, this is called annular eclipse. Annular eclipse is a rare phenomenon. It is rarely, it takes place, not frequently. Now here one activity is given. See, take a ball of clay and mud and keep it at the center of the table. Here you can see this is the ball and here light is there, torch. If you keep torch from the back side of the light, only the some part it can falls upon the earth here in the light. Otherwise front side part it's totally in the dark. Okay. Fix a pencil vertically in the clay ball in such a way that its sharp end points upward. Fix a small plastic or sponge ball on the sharp end of the pencil. Draw a circle along the middle line of the ball. Let this ball be your moon. Okay. Now place a large plastic or rubber ball at the distance of 10 to 15. This is a large ball. From the moon, let us the large ball be the earth. Draw a circle now. This we can see all the three are in a straight line. This torch plays and role of sun. This is earth and this is moon and this is earth. Now here you can see along the middle of the this ball, two using a pencil in the center, let us this be the equator. Now this is your equator line, which is a straight line, and keep the ball steady using a rubber or cloth ring. Arrange the ball representing the earth and the moon in a such a way that the circle draw on a moon will be in the plane of the equator earth. Means all these three we have to keep in a straight line. Okay, in a straight equatorial line. Take a torch, hold it at a distance of about 30 centimeter from the moon. Direct the light beam on the moon. Observe the shadow of the smaller ball on the earth to understand how solar eclipse take place. Now whenever if you move the torch little bit far from that place, we can see only the some part is visible for us. Okay, so other part all will be in the dark. Now we will see about the lunar eclipse, how it takes place. Now lunar eclipse occurs when the moon enters the shadow of the earth. Okay, when the moon enters the shadow of the earth. Okay, the shadow of what? Sun. The shadow of sun. The earth, when it enters into the earth shadow, then we can see the lunar eclipse takes place. At while revolving around it, at this time it is necessary that the earth is between the sun and the moon. The earth where it should be in between the moon and the sun, then only we can see lunar eclipse takes place. And all three of them are in the same plane. All three should be in a straight line. On full moon day, the moon paths of revolution passes through the thick shadow of the earth. If the moon is totally hidden within the shadow, we see a total lunar eclipse. Okay, if you are not able to see the moon, then we can say that is a total lunar eclipse because of the shadow of the sun. If only a part of the moon is in a shadow, we can see a partial lunar eclipse. Means some part of the moon it is visible for us. There we can call as a partial lunar eclipse. So remaining part we will see in the next